That was terrible defending. Like, how am I supposed to defend him? When I saw Bailly go in for the slide tackle, I knew the ref was gonna reprimand him. It's the same old, of the same thing. Poor with set piece defending. Centre backs getting out sprinted. Can't get a header on target. Now we got to worry about lunging. That was terrible defending. Like, how am I supposed to defend him? When I saw Bailly go in for the slide tackle, I knew the ref was gonna reprimand him. It's the same old, of the same thing. Poor with set piece defending. Centre backs getting out sprinted. Can't get a header on target. Now we got to worry about lunging.
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms, and we're back again with NK, and we are here to talk about the matter at hand, which is Manchester United versus Liverpool. Manchester United got spanked today. Today was totally disastrous. It felt like none of our minds were here. It felt like everyone's mind was already up in the final. And you know what? It was a poor performance. There's no excuse, man. No excuse. And you know what? NK? It's times like this, it's games like this where it doesn't give me any confidence going into that final. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you try to build yourself up, like, you know, like how we rested our whole squad, for example, to play Liverpool today, to avoid injury and have them all fit. Then we fumbled the bag. We fumbled the bag today. You know what I mean? It doesn't give me any confidence now that, you know, we're going to go up in that final and we're going to perform any better. For me, I like to see a team that's performing, you know, consistently from start to end. Not us on this merry-go-round journey type thing, just going round and round in terms of our performance, our form. It's just disastrous, man. But give me your thoughts, man, on today.
I mean, you know what? If we were gonna play like this, then we might as well just play the big squad against Leicester, and they play the case like against this team. Like, cause it was just shambles, and you know what? It just our defeats are always the same problems over and over again,
bro.
Our two defensive midfielders and set pieces, you know, and that's what's been our problem the whole season.
Yeah.
You know, the whole season. I was reading this kind of like, apparently we received two goals from like corner kick against like PSG, like a Sheffield United, Everton set pieces. It was just ridiculous all over the pitch. And you know what? If Villarreal were looking for a blueprint to beat us in the final, they just saw it today. Literally just saw it today. When those two players, Fred or McTominay, get a ball, just pressure them. You pressure them, you got a chance of winning against us, and maybe corner kicks.
What do they do though? Let's get on to them. What do Scott McTominay, and you know what? Scott McTominay's got goals. He's got goals. I'm probably being a bit too harsh. Like he when he's allowed that freedom to get forward, you know what I mean? He contributes at times. You know, he's got the physicality. Yeah, we know that. But what do these two guys do creatively and like for the team? What do they do? Even I feel like they both need to hold each other's hand. You know, if one don't perform without the other, and that's like.
Forget creative. Forget creative. They're not there to create. Let's just be honest. Their job on the team is not there to create. Their job there is to help the team defend. But the problem is, they are the root of all our problems. Like today, if you saw the goals, I don't know if it's the first goal or one of the goals. Literally, we are passing from the back. It gave it to Fred, and you know, for a midfielder, the first finish before you receive balls. You look left and right to see who is there before you like basically don't understanding what you're going to do with the ball. He literally got the ball and he just passed it sideways without even knowing who was there. And that started like the account.
Is that the one where he tried to pass it to Luke Shaw or something? Or was it? Are you talking about that?
No, I think I'm not sure if it was the third goal or what it was, but that was the first mistake he done. The second mistake was that he tried to do like one kind of like long pass. They got it and then they hit us on a counter attack.
He thought he had that in his locker. He was thinking it was Paul Pogba for a second.
Wow, that's what I'm just trying to say. It was just ridiculous, the whole pitch. So defensively, you don't know what they're doing. Attacking, you don't know what they're doing. So you just ask yourself, like, what? You know what? One of the only thing I would give credit to Henderson. I think after some time, Henderson just saw that, you know what? Fuck, what do you call it? Passing from the back. I'm just going to just keep on putting the ball like long, because if we kept on doing that, they would have punished us. You know,
we're not good enough. We're not good enough with this passing at the back. We're not good enough with the passing at the back. We keep doing it. We ain't good enough. You know what I mean? These DMs, right? They're not comfortable enough to be able to take control. They can't protect the ball. They're not mentally sort of like aware of their surroundings, like you mentioned. They're not constantly looking around their shoulder to see who's coming. They literally just gave the ball. A lot of our players today the passing was completely poor, man. And where we made even interceptions and where there was good challenges with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he made that sliding tackle, won the ball, gives it away. You've got Fred winning the ball, giving it away. Luke Shaw, he won the ball. He's running into opposition. He loses the ball dribbling. It's just like the fundamentals, right, of relief. You're under immense pressure. And you guys are doing this extra fancy stuff instead of clearing the ball. Let us push back up the pitch. No, you want to lose it, and continue the pressure that we're facing. It was stress. I mean, Eric Bailly, you know what? Let me just first apologize to Ollie. There's not things I'm going to apologize for. There's certain things I'm going to grill him for, but there's certain things I need to apologize for. You know what, Maguire, yeah? You see Maguire today showed me that Maguire is our best defender. He is our best defender. The partnership that I was thinking, I used to say, it doesn't matter who Bailly partners with, for example. It just needs to be either Lindelof or Maguire. That's what I was guilty of saying. Today showed me that, nah, man, this defense isn't one Bailly, you can't rely on him. He will have good performances and then he has shockers like this. And it's not even like where today he made one mistake. He could have easily, given away a pen, got 2 yellows, could have been off, leaving our team to struggle. Imagine him doing that in a final.
Yeah. One thing I got to say is, today, whether Maguire was in the team or not, it wouldn't have still stopped us from conceding just goals. We didn't lose the game because of the 2 centre back. We lost the game because of the way we were losing the balls in the middle. We lost the balls in dangerous areas, and that was one of the kind of key. With Bay, I don't know. I feel like if you need, one of the things too is if you're gonna have your 2 favorite centre backs, you just need someone that if he comes in, they can just do a good job of covering for the other side. West Brom was very good at doing that, whether Vidic was injured or whether Fernand was injured, he will come in and he will slot in nicely in there. The only problem that you go is we're trying to get another centre back to partner with Maguire. If you get that and either one of them get injured, you want to rest the other one, either Lindelof or Bay, they're not good enough to kind of give any of them a cover, if you get what I'm trying to say. So we got 2 cover-up centre-back who are not just good enough. And that's the problem. You need consistency and they don't give you that. A lot of the players in that team don't give you consistency. Yeah. I don't trust Bailly to kind of cover up if, let's say, we get even a world centre-back to come in. It's the same problem that Liverpool have had this season. You go, they had Van Dijk just doing that. If he get injured, do you have the good cover-up? And that's a problem. Those 2 are not good enough to be a cover-up if we are to challenge for the Premiership. City knew that last season and they sorted that problem out this season. We don't have that, and as long as we got that, we can buy another centre back and we will still have this same problem because those 2, they're just not good enough to cover up for us. They're just not good enough.
And that's the thing I see. Obviously Eric Bailly got the contract extension, but for me, if we're looking into the market of getting a defender, you don't just want to get a defender. I think what we're at risk of doing because of what our budget is potentially and who we're trying to go for, I guess, with Jadon Sancho, of, using budget, getting budget buyers, guys that just appease the fans, I feel. And you look at the guys that we've been linked with Pau Torres, and I don't know enough about him to be able to comment on him to say whether he's, great or not. But I'm looking at his price and I can't help but think is the reason why you're looking at him because he's got this buyout clause in his contract of about, 40 million or whatever that price is. and you've got someone like Varane there who's been playing at the highest level, like basically his whole senior career, and you just think like someone like that's available. But I just can't help think that Man United is probably going to push for Pau Torres because of the cost. Now, for me, the worry that I have with this thing is that we need to be bringing in a centre-back that outright seats one of these guys, Lindelof or Maguire, most likely Lindelof. We need a guy that outright seats them. Pau Torres now, I can't hand on my heart think, like I said, you may convince me, I can't hand on my heart think like, he's coming in before he's kicked a ball at me saying, yeah, you're going to displace Lindelof. Maybe out of a good performance, a good run, then we might see something, but I can't look at that sign and then say, you are number one first choice. Whereas with Varane, I can see that. And that's my worry. Because if we're getting another centre-back, that's not going to displace any of these guys. We're in the same boat again.
Well, the good news is we're going to see him in the final. So it's going to be a good scouting opportunity to kind of like watch him in the final. But as I said, my problem is not even going to be like those two centre-backs. Because let's face it, if we go for a whole season, players get injured. Like it's a perfect example is like how Maguire is injured today. So if Maguire get injured and you bring in your Lindelof or your Bay, do you trust them to actually keep a clean sheet in a tight game? No, you don't. And that is what my problem is. You can have the best two centre backs that race. Then you have to hope that they don't get injuries. But unfortunately, football doesn't work like that. We're going to get injuries. You can't play them week and week out. Maguire has been good doing that week and week out, but you can't get another centre back too that you're going to say, hey, they're going to come in and they're not going to get injured. But right now, he's injured for Real Madrid. He's not even playing. So he got injuries in him. So if he get injured, then you go back to the same thing that we have had this season. But once again, this is when, to me, getting that defensive midfielder, it helps. Because today it was a classic thing about, sometimes when they talk about when you play a game and the game is tight games, you need those like world class, like a center forward who would just get one chance and then score that one chance. Today was a perfect example like that. First 20 minutes, we were dominating the game. We had the ball, we were controlling the whole game. I mean, I couldn't even see Liverpool even scoring 4 goals at that time. And then boom, they just go, or what do you call it, one corner kick or so, and they equalize. And that is what it is. You need those kind of like centre back or even defensive midfielders that even when the games are tight, they will continue to keep that clean sheet and give us the opportunity to nick that one goal. And our team don't give us that opportunity. I don't know if it's the defensive midfielder that's a problem or the centre back that's a problem, but something about those defensive team players don't give us that kind of like feeling where we stay in games long enough to nick those goals. And that is my big worry there. And I don't know, is it the defensive midfielders or is it the centre back? And that is the question we need to try and sort out.
The thing is, right, is this team's kept a lot of clean sheets. They've got a lot of nil-nils. That we've probably got closer to double figures in nil-nils right this season, right? I just feel like today was just off all over the pitch, it was just too many people that was off. And I don't know if it was that our first team haven't kicked a ball, maybe that prolonged period of time where they're used to just playing back to back. I don't know what it was, but it just feels like you couldn't put a pass together and it was just old school crappy Man United rather than, good Man United that we're used to seeing, over the last few weeks. But do you know what I mean? I just feel like, obviously the defensive midfield partnership needs to change. It's clear to know that it needs to change. I think, arguably we've got the worst central midfield, barring, your Pogbas or whatever, your Brunos, central midfield partnership, Scott McTominay, Fred or Matic, or whoever of them, probably in the top 6, maybe top 8, arguably. It's poor for a team like Man United, regardless of whether it's top 6 or top 8 or whatever it is. Manchester United, when you're thinking about central midfielders, you need to be thinking top 3. We're a club of this magnitude in the Premier League. We can't be worrying about, look, someone said it the other day, Leicester City's midfield, Tielemans, Wilfred and Diddy. And then you're looking at ours and you're just thinking, why? Like, why these guys got a bit of midfield than us? It's a joke.
And you know what? You said it right there, like we could not put passes together. And sometimes, like a team of Man United, we're not built to defend throughout the whole 90 minutes. That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to control the games and then just go. But if you look at it, yes, we have kept the clean sheet, but sometimes the only way we keep the clean sheet is that we sacrifice our attacking play in order to get those clean sheets. If you have watched the games that we have got the clean sheets, it has become like boring games where no one is really attacking. A perfect game was against what they call Leeds United. You know, we were not attacking, they were really not attacking. So it was just easy to kind of like keep clean sheet like that. Yeah. If you have a team coming at us, there is no way we keep a clean sheet. You know, if the way Liverpool are playing, a good team with like City and stuff like that, they can keep a clean sheet because they will both, the defense will be just there blocking every single shot. The defensive midfielders too, when they get the ball through, they will know how to control the game, how to just like slow the tempo down too. And we don't do that too. And the problem is, I feel like Oli got a big decision to do, like bringing Pogba into that midfield, you know. And in order to bring Pogba into the midfield, he needs someone in there in order to bring Pogba in the midfield, because Pogba cannot play with both Fred and McTominay, because defensively they don't give a good cover up, and then going forward too, they don't give a good cover up too. So something needs to change. As I said to you, our team, if you look at our team, sometimes we look so close to the Premiership too, but just one little tweak and we look so much far off it. And to games like today, it just shows you that kind of a thing I'm talking about.
It's in a fine balance. Our team is finely balanced, and it does come down to the finer details at times, you know, with this team. Because like you said, a slight tweak could make us look either like a world-class team, like that's challenging for the title, you know, pushing, really challenging, or a team that just capitulates like what we just did today. But, you know, I feel like Manchester United's got a real issue with the balance of the squad. The balance of the squad is crazy. And I know that we've got star names, and it's almost for Oli, I think, unthinkable to drop guys like Rashford, I feel like, in his mind, because of who he represents, like, you know, what he represents to the club, what he's been doing on and off the pitch, and what he's, you know, he's a few goals off his, you know, his best scoring season, I guess. Like maybe he needs to score about 4 or 5. But for me, it's just, when I see Rashford playing all right, for me, I'm just like, there's no point. There really is no point playing this guy right. And, you know, I've mentioned that, you know, his head don't look in it. He don't look in the mood sometimes. And yeah, he hasn't looked on it on the left. He hasn't looked to the mood, like in the mood on the left as well at times. But for me, more times than none, Rashford is performing on the left over, you know, performing on the right. He hardly has any good games where he's performing on the right. It's on the left. So Oli's got a big thing that he needs to figure out, because you've got Pogba now, who's been playing, you know, the last few games on the left, playing well. And it looked balanced because he had Fred in midfield doing the doggy dog work as well. But then you're playing Rashford on the right. He's getting wasted. He's not good centre forward, Rashford, for me. He's better off when he's cutting in from the left. And then you've got Greenwood, who's on form, that got benched and he got wasted at a big game like this. And for me, we would have had a better start, you know, better performance today. If Greenwood started from that right, we would have had a lot more chances, would have made a lot more runs. You know what was the issue of Manchester United today for me as well? Again, the fact that there was no pace up top. You had Pogba and you had Cavani. The pace ain't there. Cavani feeds off those guys here that are making those sprinting runs. He's got that good touch. He gets it. He lays it off right. Pogba's too slow for that. He's seeking that. He's looking for the runners. Do you know what I mean? All we had was Rashford. And he's poor on the right. Right. You know what? To be honest with you, like, first half rifle, he's like, I just didn't even see what he was doing the game. And then second half, when they done that kind of like chain where Pogba went to the midfield and then he went on the left-hand side, we started to see more of him. You know, he got his goal by making that kind of like run and everything. If I was Rashford, I'll be knocking on Ole Gunnar. I'll tell you, like, I don't want to play on the right. Like, I want to play 100%. On the left-hand side. So you see that, you play him on the left, or you don't play me. But the big question now to which Ole need to just ask himself going forward is, who do I sacrifice in terms of making them have a bad game? Because if you play Pogba in the defensive midfield, he normally will have a shocking game. You don't get the best out of Pogba. And if you play Rashford on the right-hand side too, you don't get the best out of Rashford today. So the question is, who do you want to get the best out of? You know, do you want to get the best out of Rashford by playing him on the left-hand side? Or do you want to get the best, and then if you put, Pogba in the middle, you don't get the best out of him.
But if you put Bobo on the left-hand side, you get the best out of him. But if you put Rashford there too, you don't get the best out of him. So that's what I'm telling you. It's a question of where do you play these players?
Yeah,
you know,
it's an issue.
Where do you do that? And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Just a little, it's just the team. We're just so close, but we're just so far too. Because just one little twerk, for example, like say next season, you say, okay, I'm going to play Pogba on the left. You just do that, and then your midfield too is a problem too. And then if you shift Pogba to in a different position too, the whole team just looks so different too. So just that, it's kind of like a chess play for Oli now, in terms of what position do I feel like I need to really, really kind of like strengthen, and what position I don't really need to strengthen. Because let's just say next season we got a budget to get like one big player, and then he got option to say, I want to get either Declan Rice or Sancho. As a manager, I want to know who does he feel like he would need more? Does he feel like he need more of a winger, or does he feel like he need more of a defensive midfielder? You know, and I don't know who he will go for. To be honest, I really don't know.
He's 100% gonna go for Sancho. I think that one, whether I think it's at a stage right now where even if we're all knowing that centre back and a DM is very important, I feel like with that scenario, it's just going to happen. I really do think it's going to happen. Regardless.
Yeah, but if you get Sancho today, look at the team today. You are asking, if you get, let's just say we've got the best attack over there. We are asking our attackers to score almost like about 5 goals today to win a game. Because you can't rely on your defense kind of like stop chipping in the goals. A game like this, in order for us to win, we would have to score 5 goals to win the game. And unfortunately, we cannot keep on scoring like that all the time. Mm-hmm. So at some point, as I said to you, you need that kind of like backline to be stable. I don't know about you, but no United fan actually going to game. Like this season, one of the things that we have been good at is that we have been comeback kings. The only reason why we have been doing that is because we are conceding. We shouldn't be the comeback kings. We should be going there and winning comfortably. Yeah.
It's an issue. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, man. And like, so for me, it just raises the importance of needing a world class. Like, there may not be world class DMs, but I just want a quality DM. We need one, because what is happening is, like you said, Pogba and Rashford, the left is their best positions. They're both competing for that left. Rashford on the right and Pogba on the right is not as effective, right? The left is where the issue is. Oli doesn't want to drop Rash. Just like he didn't want to drop Martial before he got injured and he eventually succumbed to that. He can see the emergence of Greenwood and he's in fine form. He still doesn't want to drop Rash. For me, Rash shouldn't have played today. If you're thinking about playing Rash on the right, don't play him. It's just as simple as that. Oli needs to get ruthless. If you're thinking about playing Rash on the right, do not play the guy. It needs to be Greenwood or nothing. Or nothing. The only way how Rashford plays is if he's playing on the left, in my opinion. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. And the only way Rash could play on that left this season is not going to happen. We're bound by the team that we've got, right? The defensive midfielders we've got. For me, the only way I can see this balancing out is we get in a quality defensive midfielder. There's a few out there, your Kessiers, your Ndidis. For me, Rice, I can't see I'm worried about Rice, because he might be marginally better than it's not hard to be better than what we've got in the midfield. It's not hard to be better, right? I don't 100% see the massive difference between what Declan Rice is going to bring us to, the change it's going to bring for us now, being able to compete for titles. For me, I just don't see it. And maybe I just feel like we're at risk of being like, we're almost overhyping him because there's not many out there in the market and he's English. I just don't know. I'm just worried.
To be honest, it's not even what he brings. It's like, what it is that right now, we need that player that can come into the team that will be able to allow Rashford, Pogba, Bruno in the same team. And if we do get Sancho too, and Sancho in the same team too, without having to sacrifice that. We just need that one defense, that come and stay in the middle, and we can say, okay, Pogba, you don't need to do that defensive midfield role. Like a bit like how City play. you know, where they just go one guy just sitting. Like if you watch McTominay kind of or Fred movement, they are more likely, it's like they are deep, but sometimes they are more forward too. It's like who's the one that Matic, when Matic plays, you just know that Matic ain't going up the field. He just literally staying back, you know. Maybe his leg are a bit kind of like gone now. But if you get that kind of like person, that kind of like say, hey, you know what, Pogba, I'm not going to be the guy going forward. So you don't need to worry about dropping deep and cover me if I run forward. Because sometimes if you watch McTominay and Pogba even play that, sometimes McTominay will be the one that's high up the pitch. So then Pogba have to drop, you know. But if you get that one guy that say, hey, you know what? My job is to sit, you know. You're not going to see me pass that center way forward. I'm just sitting. So you don't need to worry too much about always kind of like coming back or just dropping back when attacking just there. Just go forward. And if they kind of like try to counter us, I'm here to break the play. And that's what we need. And that when you do that, you allow that kind of like creative players to go forward. And that is what it is. Because that McTominay and Fred, they don't do that for us.
Is Declan good enough to do it? Is he good enough to dictate our midfield for Manchester United?
I have seen him to do that. And that's the thing. It's not even about more like the dictating of the play, because once he's there, his job is not to just be swinging a pass. That would be Pogba's job, because Pogba will be in the center of the midfield, you know. His job will be to protect those center backs and the full backs too. Because what's the goal that we considered today? Fred got the ball, we were attacking, so our full backs were just literally high up the pitch. Wan-Bissaka was literally high up the pitch. The minute we lose the ball and they countered it, like Salah was just easy. I don't know who gave the pass, but Wan-Bissaka was just so much up that there was just a big space there. He was just literally waiting for that ball to come to him for him to score. And they got a multiple chance. Mane got that chance at which he should have scored, because it was just so easy for them to just kind of like hide in between the center back bait and then the wing bait, because there was no one there protecting that. You know, the way we play, the fullbacks cannot really push forward, because if they push forward, we get hit on the counter attack. You know,
I felt like we got caught, man, because our wing fullbacks were so high up. I feel like
that's the thing. We are more. It's like when we attacking, that is when as a team we worry, because just one simple misplaced pass and the ball is in the back of our nets. Literally, this will be a perfect example. Like, you know, when teams come and pack the bus, and Villarreal too. You talking about Emery. Emery know how to pack the bus too, and he will do that. And they will look for us to just make this kind of a simple mistake that we always just do. And what do you call it? They will hurt us. We just need that one guy to just say, hey, you know what? I'm here. So if the fullback goes and then we replace a pass, I'm here to kind of like cover both sides of the pitch, you know. I don't know, but that, if you give me the option of a centre back or a defensive midfielder, I would say get that defensive midfielder. Yeah. I would really say that. I would definitely say that, because I feel like with a good centre, but if you get a good defensive midfielder, it kind of like stop us always getting, like a team getting too much chances just like that, to be honest with you. It means that the centre back defend less.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the time we're not in control in the midfield. I know our possession stats may seem like, you know, we like overall, like in most of our games, you've got most of the possession, but it just feels like when I watch the game, we're always second to the loose ball. Do you know what I mean? We're always like, we always give it away. We just never have that. We just never have that control in the midfield. It feels like Scotty and Fred are always forever chasing, rather than the ones that are actually applying pressure on our opposition and just controlling the game. I just know that, yeah, you're right. We do need a DM, and it needs to be a really good one. Whether Declan can do that job or not, I don't know. I just don't want us to be pressured into like paying extortionate money, like 80 million again for a guy. He's not the
only guy out there, you know.
You know what I mean?
You can get that guy from even, Brighton. You know, he's a different. Yeah, but so much come. Today, for example, let me tell you today, if we had Fabinho in our team, we win this game today. Easily. You know, we win this game today.
I'm not saying
we're not playing two defensive midfielders today, you know. They played just one. Fabinho was the only guy that's there. He allowed Thiago and Wanama to just literally be their two kind of like creative midfielders there. Literally.
But the difference between when you see like Thiago, so he's got fight in him as well. He's not like he can pass. He can also like tackle. He's got legs in him. And then he plays like a deep line, almost like a deep line playmaker or something, like the
Yeah.
defensive playmaker or whatever. Then you've got Wijnaldum. He's a guy that's got energy for days. He can bomb up. He's almost like a boxer. Like he's got techers. He can defend and he can pass. And you've got Fabinho, who's just the perfect DM in my opinion. These guys were peanuts. Liverpool played peanuts for each of them for their quality. It was peanuts. And you look at that. It's a joke. And then you look at our team. This is what I'm saying. That the biggest issue is that midfield. It is massive. It is massive. People look at our defense and like Lindelof is crap. Maguire, he's weak, or Maguire's slow, or all of this. Bro, the issue is that midfield. You see how Liverpool, got the win against us today. One of the biggest reasons, it's not about the Van Dijks or anything like that. Look who they had in their centre-backs today. Do you know what I mean? That middle, when they shored up that middle, got Fabinho back into his position where he belongs, got all of the, where he was playing centre-back, they were vulnerable. When he put him back in the midfield, what he does is business. This is where you start to see, like, them not, it's nothing. It's light work.
It's nothing. And as I said to you, like the second half, I feel like up to like the 60th minutes or so, they showed us that we haven't even made a touch in the opposition box. And you look at Liverpool centre back, you feel like, really, these two guys out here, and we can't even do that. Let's just face it. Cavani today was just not into the game at all. We hardly saw him today. And someone watching the game with Liverpool, like, oh, Liverpool defenders had him like in their pocket. But that wasn't the case, I feel like Ole is trying to get that kind of like Leicester City kind of like midfield where they got the Ndidi and Tielemans, and then Ndidi kind of like just do more of the sitting, and Tielemans kind of like do like the box-to-box kind of like role. Pogba cannot do that box-to-box role. And you got Fred and McTominay today can do that defensive kind of like thing. So the question is, do you want to play like the Leicester kind of like midfield, or do you want to play the Man City kind of like midfield? And I feel like Ole need to change that midfield setup in order to kind of like get something out of the team. But something tells me that he's not going to do it because he's kept that same kind of formation for 2 seasons. He don't want to change it to say, okay, you know what? We're not far from the title. I don't want to change it. Maybe I need to change the personnel, but he don't have the money to change both McTominay and Fred. And I don't think Pogba can do a good position too in that kind of like role too. So I don't know if you change formation or if you stick with that. And if you stick with that, who do you get inside the team to do that? And it would be interesting to see.
Because even if Pogba played up this formation that we kept, even if we just had better DMs in this formation, we could be having a different story. Could be if you had a Fabinho in the midfield, Pogba was still playing on the left. You had a Fabinho in the midfield, and you had even if we didn't sell Herrera and we had Herrera still, that would have been probably enough to get a result out of the game. For me, I just feel like those two, the partnership there is the same issue that we're going with. That partnership is similar to the issue that we're having in centre-back with our partnership. I just think about that square in the heart of our team. The middle, the two partnerships there, and the centre-backs is not strong enough. That spine is not strong enough. Cavani's solid. Behind him, through the middle,
he just not go. You cannot have two midfielders that don't know how to pass the ball.
Nah.
That's just shambles. You cannot have two midfielders that cannot pass the ball. And it just shows you like that. McTominay get the ball, he can't pass forward, because if he passes the ball forward, he's going to misplace it and they're going to counter us too. Fred too is in the same boat. I mean, if you had one of them just in the team, let's just say you had like say a Fabinho or a defensive midfielder like in the team, and then you push McTominay a bit up. At least if you lose the ball up, it's up the pitch, and teams are not going to just counter us just like that, you know. But these guys are playing deep and they're just doing the whole mistake, and it's just terrible. It's just terrible. And I feel like Ole knows that too. Ole just know that these two guys ain't good enough for me, and I don't know. I just hope Matic get a chance to play himself into that final. I really hope he does play himself into the final, because with McTominay and Fred playing that final, I worry about us, because Villarreal, they're gonna pack the bus. They are gonna pack the bus, and mistakes are gonna cost us. And with those two playing there, man, that game is just it's not like 60 favor. It is more like 50-50. And with our center midfielders, you kind of have to give Villarreal another 10% to say, hey, it's 60% to them and 40 to us, because we got a lot of mistake in our team. I don't know about their team, but we got mistake in our team.
Yeah, and I just don't feel comfortable about Maguire. I really don't. I feel like the one consistent thing that's been in our team has been Maguire, and now that's gone. And whether people say he helps, better our team, or he makes us a poorer side, one thing I know is that there's the certainty, consistency that he brings just by being there. There's a comfortability that the goalkeeper has, your left back, your right back has, just by him being there. You taking that away brings a level of uncertainty. Right. And then you're going into a big game like this in the final. It just raises, like, my blood pressure is high watching Bailly. I can't lie. And I can't bear that in a Europa League final.
And I had concern to about goalkeeper today too. And everybody is not going to talk about the goalkeeper.
I was going to ask you about Hendo.
Hendo today, it just shows you exactly what I mean when I talk about we cannot. If you sell the gear to go and you give that guy our number one, and I told you this, if we give him a number one, in the next 2 seasons, we will be looking for a new number one, because he is not going to give you what the gear gave us and just give us a 10-year kind of a thing. He is not a guy. He will never give that. Today, he was a fourth for the corner. People talk about, come out for the corner. He came in. That punch that he done was a very weak punch. It was a very weak punch. He punched that. It just didn't do. And that other go to that, I don't know who shot it. The shot, he couldn't really catch the ball. He just literally just gave it there. For another tap in there. And if the gear done it, everybody will be talking about it today.
On him, they'll be taking bringing Henderson.
Bringing Henderson, and then he came in too. And one thing about the gear that you can say is, he has won us points on his own. Roma versus us, we would not. If it wasn't for him, we would be out. We would not be in the final.
100%.
Henderson has yet to either won us a point or won us a game. I have not seen him where, because that's the thing I said to you. Sometimes you get games where both your midfielder are bad and your centre back are bad, but your goalkeeper will keep you in the team. Same way to sometimes too, you can just clear and then your centre back keeping your team or your midfielder keeping your team. I don't see him keeping us in a game where they kind of keep on bringing the shot, and then he, how the guy used to do it against Tottenham, where he done it against Arsenal one time, done it against Tottenham one time too, and he done it against Villarreal too, and I'm sure he's done it too against other teams too, where he's saving it left and right, left and right. Henderson is never gonna do that. Yeah. He will not do that. And they talk about going in the season next season number one. I think we need to be looking at other goalkeepers, to be honest with you. I really feel we need to be.
Do you know what about this goalkeeper thing, right? Do you know what's stressing me out about this goalkeeper thing is Henderson's been treated as the number one. It's looking like he's going to be our new number one. And it's looking like, as of now, that David De Gea is going to be getting a move. Even though he don't want to move, I guess, unless he's probably going back to Spain, right? For me, David De Gea is the highest paid player at our club, 375k. We're trying to get rid of David De Gea, right? And move him on. I'm hearing Roma want him, or, some other teams want him. Who is going to pay a transfer fee for David De Gea and pay those wages in this current climate?
One of the proposals that I heard, that made a bit of sense was that they might just use him to get the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, and they would give De Gea to Atletico Madrid, get their goalkeeper, and then probably pay a bit of money. That makes sense. I feel one of the things about De Gea is he want to go back to Spain because his girlfriend lived there. Now they got a baby. He's been married there for 10 years, and he's been doing long distance relationship for that period of time. So I don't see him going to Italy. I feel like his next move is more likely going to be in Spain.
Okay, listen, it is. The whole reason why we're getting rid of David De Gea is because Henderson, Man United's looking at him as our number one. Nowhere in the world does it make sense for you to get David De Gea. Sell David De Gea if you're not looking at Henderson as being your new number one. Now, you don't go out and get another number one and have the same headache that you just tried to sort.
Well, maybe only feel like Henderson is not good enough to be number one anyway.
Henderson has to get sold. It's simple maths.
But then that's the thing too. De Gea too is coming to the end of his career. Let's face it, he has had a bit of mistake in him. You go, as I said to you, you go both goalkeepers who are not good enough to be number one.
David De Gea is good enough to be number one. Let's be honest. He hasn't done any mistake. I think the media is gaslighted the talk here so much that it's made fans think that it's his time to go. David De Gea, right, is what, 30 years old? Goalkeepers are not like you know what I mean? They're not like strikers. They're not. These guys can go on to like 35, 36, 37, 38, some of them 40 even. Like, he is at his prime. And this is fine wine prime time. And at the minute, we're trying to get rid of the guy where we know, you know, he is top. When you're talking about goalkeepers, he's top 3, top 4. You know, Henderson is unknown. And we've got years in him. It's not 1 year you're talking about, or 2 years. I'm talking about at least 5 years.
So Henderson or De Gea you talking about?
David De Gea.
Yeah, I know. With Henderson today, I kind of like watching, like, because obviously nowadays one of the things that you look for in a goalkeeper is how they can kind of like pass the back and just do that too. He was very bad at that today too. You know, when he get a ball, he didn't do any good pass to just start any attacking move. He was literally just booting it forward. Like the long ball that he was doing, we didn't even give Cavani a chance to even win the header. That's how poor he was too with his distribution. His distribution was poor. Like, in terms of like goalkeeping too, he didn't really do anything. The only shot that he kind of like made was that shot that he done, and then he kind of like punches it. But then that was literally straight at him. Yeah, it was just straight at him. So, you know, I mean, at times he came off. I think at times he came off his line. Like, and that was the only thing I was gonna say. He came off the line at times, and that was just That's the only thing that you can say is a bit of a difference between him and De Gea. Where De Gea normally will stay on his line and not come out. He will more likely to kind of like come out of his line. But how many times would you need him to do that? We don't really play that much of a high line. So unless necessarily we start to play a high line, then maybe we will need him to be like that kind of like a sweeper, kind of like goalkeeper. But at the moment, we don't really do that. So I don't know. That's the saying, like this team, sometimes there's more questions than solution. And it's just a big problem. You don't know where we spending our money to. And then today too, a certain Sancho, he got 2 goals today and an assist today, you know. So you looking at him and you're going to talk about, oh, we don't need a right winger because we can play that. I'm thinking, mate, you might as well go do that, because if we're going to lead goals, we need to score more goals. So your best chance is get someone to help us score more goals, because something tell me we're going to start the season with McFred. Something tell me we're going to start the season with those two.
Scary thought, man. I mean, just to wrap up on the whole talk about, what do you call it? Henderson and De Gea and that. Like I said, I don't want it to be us being in a position where we've pissed off David De Gea. We've probably already pissed him off enough already, where it's like Romero level, but now we're paying a team to probably take him on loan, one of the best keepers in the world, because they can't afford to pay outright his wages of 375k limits the team to PSG, maybe UV, but they've got Ronaldo, so I don't know how they'll do that because of the wages. And just maybe a handful of clubs, right? And the teams that are being linked with him, you know,
they're not going to do that.
They ain't going to do that to pay the fee and take on a wage. If you're talking about this taking on a wage, that's an obstacle by itself. Like if he's leaving for free, this guy got a 5-year contract or 4-year something. He got a big contract and he's only like 18 months in it. United is not going to be like, oh yeah, have him for 5 million or 10 million. United's going to want a decent, sizable fee. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the best keepers in the world. United, I can't see them asking for anything less than, 40 million maybe, at least. And then you're talking about 375k or more a week. I can't see it happening. So if United, right, are in a position where we've loaned them out because, someone cut off, it's just going to be a mess. If you're going to sell it...
You don't want to loan a goalkeeper of his kind of like statues to any team. You don't want to do that.
You don't want to loan. You don't want to loan.
That's what I'm just trying to tell you. Like right now, I feel my biggest concern, like I feel like we need some kind of like momentum going to the final, because now we have lost 2 games now on a row, so that's kind of like bad. I think our next game is against relegated kind of like Fulham. So hopefully we kind of like cross the line there. I don't know how many changes it's going to do. And after that, I think after that we go Wolves away to kind of like wrap up the season. So hopefully we can just kind of like win those 2 games. But something tells me we might kind of like lose to Wolves, because we go a game on a Wednesday. So do you rest your players, or do you? So you don't want to go into a final where you have lost your 3 games out of 4. You don't want to go there because then that's kind of like bad for that. But I just hope we end the season well by winning the cup. And after that, obviously, only look like he might get a contract extension. And if he does that, he needs to solve all these problems. Where do I play Rashford? Where do I play Pogba? Who is going to be my number one going into next season? All these problems need to be solved. We do not want to go into a season to want to challenge for a title where you don't know who your best, number one is, or you don't know what your best 11 is in your big games, because we don't know what our best 11 is in our big games, because the big games, he don't trust Pogba in the middle. He want to put Pogba on the left, but then you don't get the best out of one of your outstanding players, because right now, Marcus Rashford, he's on 21 goals and I think 15 assists. So he's a big impact player too. But then you do that, he's been getting these goals by playing on the left-hand side. So you do that. So I feel like I don't want to be in Ole's position. But then again, that's why he's the manager and he needs to make all these big decisions going into next season. And I'm telling you, if he don't get it right, we will probably end up going from second to maybe fifth next season. And yeah, we built a good foundation here too. But at the same time, too, there's something about this team that it just worries you. We don't want a repeat of that Jose season where we got second place and the next following season, it just went all the way down. And that was due to like bad recruitment, you know? So I don't know. I just hope something get done, because these teams, they give you more questions than answers. And that's just not good about Man United nowadays.
It's a mess. It's a mess. And you know what, right? What's annoyed me about today is like, we're letting Liverpool come back into the scene now. Look, Liverpool they've got a game in hand, and they're like, if they win that game in hand, they'll be 1 point behind Chelsea. You know, with 2 games to go.
Honestly, I want Liverpool to get Champions League. I
want them to get Europa League. I don't want them to get
Champions League. I am scared of Chelsea getting Champions League. Well, they might win it to get inside. But I feel like Chelsea, like Liverpool, whether they get Champions League or Europa League, let's face it, they're not going to be signing any players, or they're not going to be competing with Man United for any big player.
They want Sancho.
They only get Sancho if Salah leaves. I don't think no one will really kind of like going to go for him. Chelsea, I don't care who's leaving and who's not going. They might end up trying to kind of like go for some of the players that we need, because let's face it, they have the money. Players like Sancho will say to Chelsea, I don't want to go there because they are in the Europa League, you know? Because they might be... One thing about Chelsea is most of Man United targets, we will always be sitting there playing like, oh, we don't want him. By the time you know, they're going to steal him. They done that with Hazard. Everybody wanted Hazard. Chelsea,
I can't believe that Hazard one. That hurt me, man.
Yeah. Everybody wanted Hazard. Literally everybody. And then Chelsea was the least team I thought he would go to. And
it was out of Manchester. It was out of Manchester. It was either City or United. That was the battle. I remember that.
And they done the same thing too last season too with their striker. You know, everybody thought one night was going to go to Liverpool. They was talking about he might talk to like Man United. And then who ended up signing him? Chelsea. So you gotta be Kante too was the same thing too. Man United wanted him. Man City wanted him. Where did he end up at? Chelsea. So you have to worry about Chelsea. If Chelsea are in this big competition, you got to worry about where they're going to get their big players from too. So I don't know. To be honest, right now, I don't really care who get a top 4. I'm more worried about how we finish our season, because we can laugh all we want if Liverpool get a Europa League, but if we cannot laugh when we don't win it.
Yeah,
you know, how are you going to go be laughing at them when we don't win it? You know, you're going to be more about, you're going to use that more as kind of like, you know, as we are ahead, but we are using that to kind of like cover for our heads, you know. Today we lost the game, but if you go on like Twitter and everything, all United fans are talking about is that Bruno Fernandes right now has become the highest top scoring midfielder in the Premiership. But yes, that's a good individual thing, but to be honest, I don't care about that. I care about us winning
those personal
games, you know?
allocates. Like, you don't want to be a Kane or Arsenal's RVP.
Right.
All of these guys, sharers, or all of these guys that got these personal accolades.
End of the season, I'd rather be like happy about Man United winning the trophy than laughing at Liverpool not getting Champions League, to be honest. You know? Yeah. I mean, I want to be doing both, but if it come to it, I'd rather be saying, hey, you know what? We won the Europa League. What did you lot win this season? No, you were in the Europa League, because they won stuff. We just need to win stuff, to be honest.
Do you think Maguire's going to be fit for the final?
Oh, I know he's going to be fit for the finals. Okay. I know he's going to be fit. I know. Because look, one thing I say that the reason why I say that is that he has been in the stadium like both games. If the injury was that seriously, they tell him like, look, you need to rest at home. Chill at home. You will not see guys like Martial in the stadium because they got like big injuries and they're trying to like recover kind of like from it. When players got big injuries, they stay at home. He's been at the stadium on 2 different occasions on crutches. Now, would you tell a player that he's trying to recover to put more weight and stuff like that onto like what do you call it, his leg? No, I think he'll play. I something tell me that he might even play against Wolves just to come like give him a match fitness. But I am telling you, there is no way he misses the finals. No way. No way. I feel like he's definitely playing because, boy, if he don't play, the whole hour, it will send bad kind of like confidence both from the fans and it will channel throughout the whole team because we already got midfielders that we don't believe in. And then you're going to put another shaky defenders to kind of like go onto that. And, well, it's just going to be a whole nerve wrack that we don't need going into that game. We just don't need that at all.
No, we don't. I agree. I think like Ollie's going to definitely try and get him, strap him up, wrap him up for now. And then in that game, inject him one time quickly.
One time. Because look, if Maguire don't play that Europa final, he is not going to the Euros. Because if he go to the Euros, we're going to look for him. If you don't play for us in that final, you don't go into that Euros. It's as simple as that. Look, it's as simple as that. Like, look, Van Dijk, for example, he came out like, look, I'm not going to the Europe. I'm going to still do there and work on my preseason. If he don't stay fit, if he don't play for us in that Europa thingy, because I don't care, he might be shit with his pace, but once you know it, he's going to be winning headers for us, or he's going to be doing something. He ain't going to be rushing into tackles, because let's face it, today, Bayer nearly gave us a penalty, you know, and not only that, too,
I didn't even talk about
into another tackle too. And these are the low kind of like margins. You go inside, Bayer, by the time you know, he gets sent off, and you play with 10 men, you know. So you have to worry about those kind of like things going into a final. And I think he's going to make it. I hope he make it. I really hope he make it, because it's kind of like a little bit confident boost with him there.
This is what it's coming down to, man. This is what it's coming down to now. Everything's looking to the Europa League final. I think obviously second place seems to be wrapped up, but I don't like how we've just dropped 6 points like that. But, you know, we've still got a couple games to go. And we go
Fulham. Fulham. We have to beat Fulham. I don't see us losing to Fulham. It's at Old Trafford too. Then again, we have lost 5 games at Old Trafford this season too. That's a poor record.
If we secure a win against Fulham, does that mean that we secured second place then?
I think we have 4 points. Yeah, mathematically, I think we just need 3 points to kind of like secure that second place, you know. Because if we beat Fulham, of course, right now I think the points gap is like 4 points gap between them.
Just one more win, yeah. Just one more
win will kind of like do the trick for us too. And just do that. And then against Wolves, the only problem is against Wolves is we got that unbeaten record, you know. So I don't know if that's gonna factor into like team news or whatever it is, you know. Because they've gone a whole season not losing away from home. So do you try to just do that? But I don't know. Only more or less need to think about winning the final than keeping on beating record, because that record someone is gonna break it. The question is, do you want to have an unbeaten record away, or do you want a cup? You know, who cares how many games you lose? City lost 5 games. They are still the champions, and they wouldn't care less.
I don't think Ollie's gonna care, to be honest. I feel like he's gonna do what's best, because he's in a final and he knows how hard it was to even get there. I feel like if he has to throw that game, then he will. The good thing is that, you know, Wolves and Fulham haven't been in the finals form, as you can see. So I feel like hopefully United can play a team, not like we did against Leicester, because we totally threw that game, but a team that's a bit mixed. You know, play certain guys for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, take them off and do that. Like, just balance the squad, rotate the squad for both games. Because you need to keep them ticking as well. I feel like certain players, like, you know, like your Rooney's as well, when we had it, he's a guy that needed to keep ticking, needed that game time. Bruno, I feel like is similar, is like that. I feel like, you know, resting these guys too much and they're going into a game so cold is not going to be good for anyone.
Yeah, but you need to rest. Today, for example, when Bruno went down injured, anytime Bruno go down injured, you like, your heart just kind of like skip a little kind of like beat, you know. Your heart kind of like skip a little bit too. And another guy today that I forgot to talk about too was Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He had a brilliant game today, you know. I can't wait to see how he's developed going forward next season, because I feel like attacking wise, he is more kind of like going forward too. and I see his decision making to be more kind of like good. Before, they will be coaching him when he get a ball. You see Bruno pointing, hey, go here, go here. Now they don't do that too much with him. He kind of like, yeah, he's trying to just do that today too. One of the goals too, it started from him. Rashford gave him the ball, he gave it to Bruno, and then boom, and then now that too, he done the same thing too in our previous game too. So he is one guy too. I've been really impressed with him going forward recently too.
And you know why he's going to have a lot more gears in him come next season if we get a right midfielder, that right wing. When you've got that attacking guy where you can do your link-up play, you know, like how Luke Shaw's been linking up with Rashford, well, or Pogba, well, I feel like with Wan-Bissaka, he's going to link up really well with your Jadon Sancho's. He's going to be looking for him. He's going to be looking for Jadon or whoever, you know, comes in. Greenwood as well, if he had a season, started the season with playing fully with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, that again would have been a solid bond. Obviously, Greenwood came in more to the latter stages, like maybe the final third of the season, where he started getting that love on the wing. Other than that, you know, it's been more like Dan James here and there, or, you know, mixture between Rashford or whatever. But I feel like next season, we're going to definitely see a better Wan-Bissaka, man, especially when he's partnered up with someone consistent in front of him. So, look, yeah, we're going to potentially have the best, you know, top three fullbacks out there. Fullbacks, you know, out of, you know, probably no, maybe not top three, but I say that we're probably going to have
the best fullback. We're going to have a bit of the Liverpool fullback, and once again, you get those two fullbacks, like, you need that kind of a DM to help them
like top six.
Go forward. Yeah, go forward more.
Yeah, I feel so.
Go forward more. So someone to just protect all this kind of like attacking play. Someone to just protect them too, but I don't know. Right now, it's just more, we're getting close to the final, and I don't know. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, are we going to win? Everybody say, oh, we spunked it. But now, as we get closer and closer, and some people feel like, oh, because we got the finals, our head kind of like drop. But I don't think so. I really don't think so.
We wanted that win. We wanted the win, man.
We wanted that win because Villarreal too are bad on form too. We are also kind of like bad on form too. So it's just going to be one of those games that it might just lead to just like, I feel like a mistake. Someone would do a mistake for the other team to win, and right now our team got more mistake in us than more brilliant in us. So it's just a worry, man. It's just a worry.
The difference, like, you know, a couple of results can make. You know what I mean? A couple of results can make to how you feel and your confidence. But for me, I'm still fairly. I'm okay. I'm okay. I feel like Maguire, once he gets back in the team, I feel like we'll be all right, even if we played the same formation. Villarreal have their team with mad speed. I think Chukwueze's out. He's got mad speed. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we should potentially be able to handle them. You know what I mean? I ain't too worried, but anything can happen, obviously, but I ain't too worried. I feel like, obviously, we got back-to-back losses, but the game against Leicester, I'm almost writing that off because we literally took the piss with that game. And against Liverpool, you know, they can beat anyone on their day. Do you know what I mean? They can beat anyone. They wanted the game more than us as well. I know it's not an excuse. They really did want the game more than us. They're trying to get Champions League. They got more to lose. I feel like Villarreal is going to be an interesting game because we're going to still play our stronger squad. It's not going to be as good as Liverpool. And I feel like Manchester United will be able to have more to like get a foothold in that game, dominate the game, get the result. Cavani's going to be ready. You know, everyone's going to be there, man. We're getting a win, man. We're getting a W, and we're going to lift that trophy. There's no there's no two ways about it.
Let's hope so, but I just know that I don't know. Unless we get that game, I feel like we need an early goal, man. We need that because if we concede first, because they're gonna be fans in that stadium too. And when you concede first too, them fans, we're not gonna be sitting there thinking like, oh, we the comeback kings. It ain't gonna be like that. No. Ain't gonna be, it's a final. It's not gonna be like that. And 1-2 is with only two and his subs too. Like if today, for example, we losing a game and then he bring like Matic on. I don't even know who was on the bench that he could have bring on, but definitely not Matic, you know. So he brought him on, and I don't know. When we losing games, it's just I don't know. If I'm manager, you question us sometimes when we losing games. So I don't know. For the finals, maybe we just go there, get too early, to the just a bit like how the other final was against Ajax, you know. We just went there, boom, 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 easy final. By what? By 45, by second half, we knew we were going to win it anyways, you know. Just make it an easy final, but
That's the
I
thing.
don't know,
We hobbled over the line in the last Europa League win that we got with under Marino. We hobbled over the line. There was times that we could have got knocked out on a dying second. I remember. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Ajax or something.
Well, one of the, I think it was Celta Vigo. They came there, they were pampering us left and right. But the final was easy. The finals itself was easy against Ajax. You know, it was a very
I think it was
final.
the semi-final that we literally almost got, like, last kick of the game. I remember last kick of the game, we almost got knocked out. And we hobble over the line. I think we'll do it. I really do think we'll do it, and then we'll progress on. But obviously, we can see the issues that's in our club, and we really do need to address it. Oli really needs to be paying attention.
We need to get the first 11 right on that final. I feel the first 11 will just give us more kind of like confidence whether we're gonna win or not. Where do you play Pogba in that final? Do you play him on the left? Do you stick Rashford on the right? Do you play Mason Greenwood? Like, it's a whole lot of questions like going to the finals, you know, and it'll be interesting to see what the first 11 is that final. Because right now, all we just do between now to the end of the season, it's just all about players playing themselves into the final. That's all it is, you know. That's all it is.
Well, you heard it from us. It is the OT99 Banter Room, where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Support the king. And you know what? We'll see you, man. We'll see you in our next game. Who's our next game against? Wolves?
Fulham.
Look, we'll see you against Fulham, man. Hopefully we can done the season there, get the 3 points, forget about the Premier League, field the small boys against Wolves, and focus on this Europa League final and get the W. Look, I'm out.